Welcome to day 3 of Genius Inside, and let me begin with the quote by William Blake. What is now proven was only once imagined. Isn't that so true? Our fears feed our imagination with such potent negativity that they become a reality. They actually become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then you land up saying, I knew it. I knew it. I had that feeling in my gut, and look, this is what happened. Richard Wagner said, imagination creates reality. And that is an undeniable truth. I was 22 years old when I did my first corporate program. And did you know that fear of public speaking ranks number 2 in the list of fears, the first one being the fear of death. So technically, after the fear of death, what you're most scared of is speaking in public. And that was my job at 22. And I had made the decision that I will be a motivational speaker. And a lot of people, out of concern, came to discourage me, saying, oh, you're too young, you don't have the experience, why will people listen to you, and they will really pay you. But you know, my inner drive, that I knew that a formula had worked so well for me all these years. And you know what? While I hadn't done a corporate job, I had 9 years of experience of teaching children, of managing their teachers, managing their parents, and delivering beyond expectation. That counts for something. And I had taught 1,900 students. And you know what? To be able to influence a child to do better and to ensure he or she does, I think I had cracked the formula for success, and I so wanted to share it out with the world. But you know what? As much as I had blocked other people telling me what to do, there was still an inherent fear. You know, when you take the stage and there are people who are twice your age sitting in front of you saying, okay, talk. What are you going to tell me? Huh? When did you start working? How old are you? You know what I mean? And the fear is real. And that is the point I want to make today. It is real. I was afraid. What if I fumble? What if I forget my talk? What if I say something they don't like? What if they don't like me? What if they argue with me? What if they insult me? What if they throw something at me? What if they boo me? You know, this fear is real. I won't say it's imaginary. I won't say I'm being negative. These are possibilities. But you know what? Fear has a higher use if you choose to look at it that way, and that is to warn you so that you can prepare, improve, and show up with full confidence to handle the situation or the problem. And that is the only service that fear will do for you. And that is exactly what I did. I prepared, I studied, I researched, I practiced hours and hours, not just in front of the mirror, but also in front of an audience. I would put my housekeepers together, I would put my students together, and I practiced hours before I took that stage. You know, that day when I spoke at the corporate conference, the greatest compliment that came to me was when one lady walked up to me and asked me, how long have you been doing this? And it was my first ever workshop. And where did that drive come? Where did that courage come? By handling my fears, by working out the warning signs and ruling it out, by putting in more preparation and more practice. And let me also tell you, this is a ritual that I have adopted. Every conference that I go for, you will see me backstage studying, preparing, and still trying to improve that little one tiny thing, or practicing. I have never ever taken my job for granted, because you know what? Every time I get an opportunity to step on stage, there is a little fear. Why will they like me? What if they don't like what I say? What if I fumble? What if I forget? And those fears are again serving as a warning. Practice, prepare, improve. And for that, my fears have contributed to my success by ruling them out, by handling them. And that's the exercise I gave you, to write down your deepest fears and then to write the worst that can happen. Bring it all out. They will throw tomatoes at me, they will argue with me, they will never hire me again. Write it all down. And now write back. What if none of this happens? Then how would it be? I would be India's top motivational speaker. I would become a best-selling author. I would rise to the ranks of the CEO. This would be the stepping stone for my success. Write down now. Let's say all of that is ruled out. Now, doesn't that bring power? Doesn't that bring positivity in your imagination? Doesn't that give you a possibility that, look, fears being a constant or not, both are possible. Which one will become a reality? The one that you choose to feed with your imagination. 26 years ago, I could have allowed my fears to drown me and made it so big that I would never dare to step on stage. And if I would have done that, if I would have just fed my fears without taking any action on practice, preparation, and improvement, guess what? I would not be here. Heck, I would be nowhere. And that's the truth, not just for me, but for so many other people. You can't make it so far if you've been feeding your imagination only with your fears. Now let me tell you a story about Veer. This is about a young Veer. One night, Veer woke up startled with a knock on his door. Now that was strange. Nobody knocks his door. And then he saw the knob turn, and that's when he shot up. He was scared. Who's on the other side of the door? And as he was getting up, the door turned and he slipped toward the back door in his room, which opened to his sister's room. And then he caught a glance of this monster, like really ugly monster peeping through the door. And Veer ran. He ran into his sister's room and nobody was there. And he could hear the footsteps of the monster coming. Panicked, he ran into his parents' room. Nobody was there. And he could hear the footsteps getting closer. And we ran through the corridor. It was dark. Nobody was home. And there was a monster in his house. And he saw the stairs going up to the attic and the terrace. So he shot up the stairs. But when he reached the top, the door was locked. It was pitch dark. And now he had to come back if he had anywhere to go. And then he heard the footsteps of the monster coming up. And it was close because he could hear him breathing, he could hear him grunting, and Veer knew he's going to die. He's finished, he's ruined. There is nobody at home, there is no help, there is no point even screaming for help. And as the monster reached up, it had a match in its hand. And he lit it. And when the match lit, Veer saw this really huge, ugly fellow holding a matchstick with, bloodshot eyes and froth coming out of his mouth. And he knew he's going to be eaten up and dead. So Veer was so panicked. And that monster kept standing with the match lit in his hand. And then Veer found the courage to ask him, "What do you want from me?" See, the question comes only when you come face to face with your fears, when it's standing right there in front of you with the match, when you have no other option, then the question comes, what do you want? He was not asking this question when he heard the knock on the door. He didn't ask the question when the monster popped his face into the door. He did not ask the question in the whole chase. He asked the question when he was cornered. And the monster looked confused. He said, "I don't know. You tell me. I'm a part of your nightmare." And that is the thing. You are directing these fears. You are pretending that they're chasing you. You've made them real. You've planted them outside the door and you have made them so big that now you're running for your life from that imagination, at the source of which is your thought, is your creation. That is how so many people live their lives. And then they wonder, what am I doing? Why am I not successful? Hey, you never took the stage. You allowed the fears to consume you, and you allowed other people's negativity, warning, knowingly or unknowingly, impact you and then fuel your fears further. Haven't you been through this before? Now, if you consider yourself even a little bit successful by your standards, if you have, really beaten yourself and saying, oh no, I don't think I've really done anything important. If you have come here so far, go back in time. There was one time where you made a decision despite your fears, despite the discouragement, and you said, okay, let me handle this. Let me work upon this. That's how you have come here so far. It could be a tiny thing, it could be a big thing, but you could not be here today believing in yourself enough to have enrolled in this course if you at some point have not faced your fears. When you come face to face with it, that's when you will question it. And that is the purpose of Genius Inside, to bring you face to face with your fears, to help you realize you have created it, you have funded it, you have fed it. to have made it so big that today it's standing between you and your dreams. And I cannot emphasize how powerful they are. They evoke responses in you. You know, when you think of something, when you imagine something, or when you have this visual in your head, have you ever cried? Why did you cry? Because there was something going on in your head so big, so strong, so impactful that it produced tears, that it brought water to pop out of your eyes. Do it right now. Chalo, do it. Yeah, tear up your eyes, start to cry, produce the water. You can't do it until you have those supporting thoughts which will create the supporting feelings and then produce a supporting reaction. Whatever actions that you're taking right now, whatever reactions that you are doing in your behaviors today are supported by feelings which are fueled, funded and fed by your imagination. So if the reaction and response is not good, then your feelings have been impacted by that. Do you see the connection that I'm trying to make? So it's pointless saying, I want to change my behavior, I want to change my action. Hey, you feel sad, that's why you're doing it. You feel nervous, that's why you're doing it. You feel afraid, that's why you're doing it. Let's get to the source of it. These demons that you have created, these demons that you have domesticated in your head. That's what we're going for. And first, you have to stop running away from this imagined reality. Sit pretty, do the lessons, do the playbook, and in those questions, I am going to bring that monster with the lit matchstick face to face with you, waiting for your next command. And when you say, go away, it does. Do that in your nightmare. Tell the monster, go away. And it does, because you're the one who's creating it. And such is life. The enemy is not outside. The enemy is within, in the entertainment of our fears without question. The entire program is designed to help you ask meaningful questions and lead you to answers that will challenge your fears and render them powerless. Let's stop this nightmare of mediocrity and put in an attitude of interrogation when your imagination takes on a negative flight. And I promise you, at the end of it, you will laugh at yourself. You will laugh at the absurdity of your actions, that really, that was me? How did I do that? How did I think like that? That was so stupid. When you get there, that's when you have wiped the fear off, and that's when you are introduced to yourself, and you will be able to see who you really are, the bank of talent you have, the gifts that you have, and you will find courage effortlessly to be yourself and to do what you want to do what you love to do, and to create any reality you so wish. Take the playbook seriously. It's just 2 questions that will lead you to the answers that will change your life. I can give you all the answers, but that's not the purpose of the program. I'm trying to tell you stories. I'm giving you facts, and then you devise your answer that will handle your life. See, I'm not the genius you're looking for. You are the genius the world is waiting for. And that is a purpose I am bound and driven by to deliver you to the world. So let's get started with the 2 questions in your playbook below. So over to you, my friend. Confront the monster you have created that is holding you back from your destiny. Answer the 2 questions below, and I will see you tomorrow.